This time I'm going to show you the correct and safe manner to change or remove a wheel on your vehicle. First thing, we need to ensure that we've got all the correct tools and equipment that we need for this procedure. What I've got here is I've got a trolley jack or floor jack. However, you do get different type of jacks like we've got over there. That is a bottle or scissor jack, whichever you've got at your disposal. This is the most stable of the lot. We've got a wheel chop or a wheel stop. There are alternatives for that as well. We've got a trestle or a jack stand or axle stand. I've got the appropriate wrench and socket for the wheel nut size. I've got the lock nut adapter for the specific lock nut on the wheel, and I've got a center hubcap removal tool should it be necessary. So those are basically the tools we're going to use to remove and fit the tire on this car. So what happens next? First things first, we're going to get into the vehicle, open it, make sure that it is standing on a nice level surface. Going to put the vehicle in gear in first gear, and we're going to put the handbrake on to ensure that the vehicle remains stable. Once that is done, we're going to close the door, and on the other end of the vehicle, depending on which side is going to remain on the ground, we're going to put a wheel choker behind that wheel to prevent it from rolling down, incline, or move at all while you're changing the wheel. So we're going to change or remove the back wheel. So behind the front wheel, we're going to put the wheel chock like that. Once that is done, we are now going to proceed by putting in the jack underneath the vehicle. Before we start doing anything, first thing we're going to do is take the special tool for this hubcap removal. Going to flip out the hubcap in the middle to see that all the nuts are there, and we've got the efficient tools to do that. Next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take the jack and put it underneath the vehicle. I've made a separate video on the correct place or method to jack up your vehicle as well, so you can have a look at that if you are unsure. Put the jack in the correct place underneath the vehicle and start jacking it up like so. And once the bodywork has just started lifting like so, the first thing we're going to do thereafter is we're going to take the wheel nuts or the wheel socket, and we're going to loosen all of the nuts on the wheel. We're not going to remove them yet, we're only going to loosen them. And the reason for this is, while the weight of the vehicle is still on the car itself, it is easier to loosen them, as when you do this while the car is in the air or jacked up, the possibility is too high that you can pull the vehicle or maneuver it off the jack or off the stand with the ratchet or the wheel wrench that you've got. So what I've also got here is the adapter that's going to go into the wheel like so, and then I'm going to be able to remove the safety nut as well, or not remove it, just loosen for now. Once all of the wheel nuts are loosened, we can proceed in jacking up the vehicle more. Like that. Correct. So once the vehicle has been jacked up like that and the wheel is being able to move, the handbrake is still on so it doesn't move too much. But the next thing we're going to do is safety. So we're going to use the jack stand or axle stand that we've got and put that at the appropriate place underneath the vehicle as well. That is also explained in the other video that I have made. Pull that to the acquired length or the desired appropriate length and leave it there. What we then do is we only slowly let the jack down again for safety until it rests on the jack stand, and then lock the jack again. So the jack is slightly loose, mostly resting on the jack stand, and the vehicle is now safer to work on. Once that is done, I'm going to remove all the wheel nuts. You can do it with a wrench or a ratchet, but for speed and time I'm going to use this tool here. So using the ratchet, the impact wrench or the impact driver, and removing them all. And just like that, be sure that when you're taking out the last one, especially when it is wheel studs like this and not the nuts that you're taking out, be sure to hang onto the wheel so it does not fall and damage the wheel itself or anything behind the wheel. So when that is removed, you can now proceed to do whatever work you came to carry out. So you can either change your brake pads, your brake discs, whatever work you need to do here, whether it's suspension wise or brake wise, does not really matter. So once you have finished any work that needed to be done here, or you simply wish to change a tire, you bring the wheel back again, whether it's a spare one or the same one, doesn't matter. And we're going to put this wheel back onto the hub, like so. And if you keep a slight bit of pressure applied to the wheel, you don't have to hold the weight of the wheel up the whole time. You can just slide it over the hub and it will remain in the air. You just need to press slight bit against it, because if you let go, you'll see that the wheel wants to come off again. And then next step you do is, in a case of a wheel with studs like this, or with bolts instead of nuts, you have to line the holes first and then simply start inserting the bolts by hand first, and not immediately with any sort of power tool, just to ensure that they grab the thread correctly and do not cross thread, strip or damage threads in any way. And that goes for both the bolts and the holes on your vehicle. If the vehicle has studs and you're putting on nuts, this is a slight bit easier, but the procedure remains exactly the same. Excuse me. So once you've got those in, you can still slightly just apply some pressure against the wheel and tighten the nuts or studs all the way. Okay, so they are all hand tightened basically, and the wheel is solid in its place. Now do remember, this is not the final tighten. We still have to lock them with your power wrench or wheel wrench afterwards. This is only to keep the wheel in place. So once the wheel is in place, we're going to start doing everything in reverse order. So once we're going to slightly lift the jack up, just so the vehicle is lifted off the trestle or jack stand, and you can see like so. We can then remove it, and once that is removed, we can slowly lower the vehicle into place again, like so. Slowly back to the ground. And once that is done, you can remove the jack as well. Once the jack is removed and the wheel is steady on the ground again, the vehicle's handbrake is still applied. We're going to take the power bar or the wrench you've got, and we're going to lock the wheels to the appropriate torque settings that is required, depending on your vehicle or wheels. And once that is done, the wheel is now securely back in place. And the next final step, should it be applicable to your vehicle, is to replace the center cap of your wheel. Like that, simply hammer it into place. And the wheel has been changed successfully and it is locked into place. The final part that you can do is you can simply go and remove the wheel chock from behind the front wheel or the wheels that remained on the ground during this exercise. So if you found this helpful and you did enjoy the video, be sure to like it. Also consider subscribing to my channel. And until next time, goodbye guys.